I don't care about money or fame, nice cars, a big stupid house, tons of money in an IRA account. I care about reaching my deathbed knowing that I loved with everything that Christ gave me. I loved to the maximum of my potential, and I was loved by somebody who felt the same way. Everything in this world is gonna come and go. My flesh is going to rot or be burned and turn into ashes one day. Everything we see around you is gonna age. Time is gonna pass on if I'm here or if I'm not here. But I want to make the most of what truly matters, and that's looking back at what was here first, what was put in place before all of the crap of the world, all of the drama, all of the lies, the cheatings, the sneakinesses of the world, all up before the wicked. When God placed Adam in the garden, this beautiful world, and then when he made Eve for Adam, two becoming one flesh in God's perfect world. No pleasing your co-workers, no pleasing your friends, no pleasing your boss, no pleasing all of the worldly objects, sacrificing our souls for the attention of others. None of that. There was just Adam and Eve living life together in the world that God created with a loving Father watching over them. I long for that world. One day I will see that world. I will stand in front of the gates of heaven and I will say, and I know my Father will say to me, "Well done, my faithful servant. Well done. You overcame things that most people haven't. My son, I've put you through so many fires. You've been in the forge quite some time, haven't you, son?" And on that day, I will have nothing to say. Because I will finally, for once, not be weighed down by the problems of the world, by the pain and the hurt of people in the world. It's not to say that this world is so beautiful still. And people can change, and people can grow, and people can become the best versions of themselves for them and others. I long, though, for the day, and I wish it would happen on this earth, when people would start putting God first, and when they get married, their spouse second. I long for the day when people wake up and realize a cup of coffee on your front porch is more meaningful than any amount of cars, than any amount of money, than any amount of big real estate you could ever dream of, than any amount of clothing, than any amount of friends. You see, I've always been a different kind of social media influencer. Sure, money's nice. I've had plenty and I've had very little. Been through really good times and some really, really crappy times, especially of late. But I've always known that what truly matters, above all the stuff in the world, is what God originally created. I'm still young. I got a lot of really hard times ahead of me and a lot of really, really good times ahead of me. Sometimes I hate that God made me a strong person because I have been through so many fires in my life that a lot of people won't ever have to go through for the rest of their lives. Some fires I started, majority of the hardest fires wasn't my fault. But at the end of the day, I understand. I understand why we go through trials, but it doesn't make it easy. You know, I understand we must go through things, as the Bible says, to sharpen us, to make us stronger, to chisel at us. I understand that God puts some people through some crazy things, some really hard times, because God is trying to prepare that individual or that couple for what's coming next, good or bad.
Total distance 2 miles.
But it doesn't mean it makes it easy. There may be some kind of comfort knowing the truth, but it doesn't make the human emotions easy. Especially when you genuinely, truly, in your heart and in your soul, you give something your absolute all, and you come to the end of your rope looking back and you're like, I'm here. I gave everything I had. I put it all in there. It's all out there. It's out of my hands now. You know, I've come to that realization in a couple things in my life recently, that I look back and it's like, all right, Father, I have been the best example of how a man should be, a husband should be, how, you know, a guy should be, whatever. And okay, that's it. That's it. I'm at the end of the rope on this subject or this thing. I've given it to you. I've given it. I have changed so much in 10 years. Like, it is unbelievable how much I have changed. Looking back, if you can't look back in the last 5 or 10 years and say, holy cow, that was a completely different person, I can do that. Not out of pride, because I don't care what. I never cared about the attention of others. I don't make my videos for attention in any way. Good attention, bad attention. You know, I used to, and that's crazy, and if people truly knew, like, everything that I've gone through, this next statement, you would be shocked that I could even say it. But this next statement, which is this, growing up, I used to always say, I don't want God to come back. Because life is amazing. So many opportunities. So many different people and things to try and places to go and all this stuff, even though I technically haven't really been to many places, which one day I really hope to change that, but God willing. And you know what? And then I started changing my shift on all those things, but also, if God comes back now, what about the people that are living in sin, that are truly going to hell? If God came back today, what about those people? What about them? And now what I say, going through everything I've gone through, and I am serious. I'm not this kind of person that says, oh yeah, I've gone through some stuff, and you know, it's just little stuff and I hype it up to be big. No, this stuff that I've gone through would break most people in 1,000 pieces. A lot of people that have gone through what I've gone through have questioned their faith, have walked away from God. What I have gone through would make most people sick in their stomach. So with all that being said, I still view it the same way. I love this earth that God created. I love it. I love the nature. I love the opportunities. I love this world. Sure, I still believe that if God came back, there's so many people that might think they're going to heaven, but they're not. And I want everybody to have the opportunity to go to heaven, not hell. I want the world to have the opportunity to change, to do better, to be better. I want that a husband that's abusive to his wife to wake up and completely do a 360-degree change and make his wife just mind blown. I want the wife that puts her husband last, that doesn't care about her husband, that's too worried about the world or friends or coworkers or anything else. I want that wife to wake up one day and all of a sudden choose her husband for the rest of their lives, and they grow old hand in hand, sitting on their front porch together in true love. Not the kind of love that's in the movies, not the kind of love that Satan promotes, because that's what he does these days. He says, love, 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 and it doesn't mean nothing. I want everybody to wake up tomorrow with the opportunity to change their entire family tree, change their entire life. But I also want to experience everything that I can experience. And, you know, it's like, so then you want to experience the really bad and hard times? Not particularly. I mean, if Christ can, you know, maybe lighten up a little bit, you know, I'm tired of being in the fire. You know, I am tired of being in the furnace. You know, if God's will, you know, if his will would be to remove me from that furnace, blow up my life in the most positive way as possible. But that's what makes us. Our trials, our good, our bads, that's what makes us, if we let it. Of course, hard times, bad times can turn you cold and make you miserable and turn you, you know, in a bad way, which often people do turn it, you know, they fold into the world instead of folding into the good. So, you know, I refuse to fall into Satan. Satan done something to me and pissed me. I know that's, a lot of people think that's a swear word, so sorry. Let me rephrase that. Ticked me off to the point that his goal and his plans have backfired, because I've realized when you lean into the world, you're gonna get exactly what you're leaning into. You're gonna get the world. And guess what? The world is a trash can on fire. I've said it before in other videos. The world doesn't know what love really is. The world doesn't know how to manage their finances. The world doesn't know how to be healthy. I'm sure we know all these things, but people don't apply them. Anyway, I'm tired, guys. You know, there's some things that I'm just tired, that I've hit the end of my ropes on. And if you knew, you'd understand. But that doesn't change my mindset. I don't want Christ to come back, not yet. Because yes, I want to enjoy the world that God's created. I want to feel things that I never felt before. Experience things that I never felt before, that I never experienced before. I want people to be able to change their lives for the better, to grow, to shock somebody in a positive way. But I do long for the day when all the negativity, when all the drama, when all the lies, the schemes, the scams, the betrayals are done and gone and over with. I long for that day. I dream of that day, but I also love the earth that God created. God created this beautiful, beautiful world. And He created me to be in this beautiful world at this point in time. And so have you. He created you to be in this world at this point in time. Where you are in life, He put you here. You are where you are. Sometimes by our choices, but ultimately He knows the plan for us. So I dream and I pray that tomorrow, everybody who's doing anything negative wakes up and completely changes their life.